I'm going to give you the forbidden knowledge. Did you know that there's a debug level in Absolver? Well, there is one. It's not big, it's not that impressive, but it does exist. It's a small little pit that's built to test incredibly contrived parts of the game. But why does it exist? Well, a debug level isn't a unique feature to Absolver. Something like this is usually a test level, typically built to prove features out in a game. A level like this might exist when you need to test things out that you can't easily find in your game. So let's walk through this level and see what we can get out of it. But you can tell by the fact that there's only simple geometry and all of it's transparent or textureless that this is a level that isn't meant to be seen by us. But here we are, 6 years later, getting a glimpse into some secrets. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm using a non-Steam version of Absolver with Universal Unreal Unlocker to allow me to do all sorts of fun things with the game. So before you start asking, what is this wizardry? That's it. That's the wizardry. Number 1, NPCs. First off, we have 2 of our favorite NPCs, Racchio and the dude from the Oration Quarter that looks shockingly Steve Buscemi. I think they're mostly here to test school commands because you can clearly see the writing on the wall that will allow you to do school-related stuff that, and I mean, speaking of schools, you know, this is the area where you would test schools also. So obviously school stuff updates when you load in or at random sometimes. So this is probably a great environment for it. There are these commands on the wall that, again, they don't seem to do anything when I invoke them. But hey, if you needed a quick reference to do something in a debug level, slapping commands on the walls doesn't seem so bad. Spawning enemies. Yes, let's spawn some enemies. You can spawn, I think, pretty much any type of enemy here, all with different movesets and fashion that you can find in the overworld. You can beat them up and they'll drop loot sometimes, and they just kind of come back. It's a really good way to test different character archetypes. You can also spawn bosses, specifically downfall bosses. You ever wanted to fight all 3 downfall bosses at once? Yeah, me neither, but I'm getting my ass beaten. It's really hard. Now, obviously, there's an altar here, but it's just an altar. It's like every other altar in the overworld, no biggie. We obviously want to test this because it's a very core part of the game, and it's also one of the easiest ways we can get to meditation and changing our fashion and also like respecking our character. There's not a world space location for you to open rift discs in this level, which means you get soft locked if you actually try to open loot because the game has no idea what to do with you. This sort of suggests that this level was not in use by the time rift discs were released, which is funny because those came out in late October of 2017. All you get is this button at the bottom and you can mash it all you want, but there's a menu you cannot escape from. We have these nerf and buff sections. So nerfs and buffs, I find this one interesting. There's just a cylinder for healing, a cylinder for poison, which I don't think was ever like really a core mechanic, but I suppose they needed a way to drain health that wasn't getting your ass beat. And then gravity. Notably, there aren't cylinders for exhaust or for shield or really any other buff, which might suggest that this level was abandoned for testing powers specifically, or it just wasn't important at the time. Up the way here is a big ramp that lets you test fall damage. Conveniently written on the walls are the different heights that lead to different chunks of damage. And ultimately, death happens when you exceed 7.5 meters. As I run outside of this cube, I die instantly because the height is greater than 7.5 meters. The cubes! The intro and the appearance cubes make their return. You've seen these in the actual Absolver gameplay map that houses where your character goes when you're testing out intros or messing with your appearance. And speaking of, there's also meditation. Well below this level, we have the giant sphere where your character goes during meditation. Again, we have a place to go when we meditate because this sphere exists. Like I showed you in the meditation video, if it wasn't here, we would just spawn in a meditation version of this pit. Now the rest of the map is pretty unremarkable, except for this statue floating ominously 100 meters in the air. Why is this here? What could it mean? I want to believe. Otherwise, it's endless, boundless, textureless pasture. But that's it. Usually these levels exist for dev purposes, and if you haven't seen it before today, then congratulations. You now know of this quirky little box that exists in the game's code. Thanks for watching.